right. What's up, world? Carl Shepard here. Checking in to what looks like it's going to be my episode 21. This is pretty spontaneous, and it's my birthday today. I woke up this morning in a really good mood. I've really been digging deep into myself, trying to figure out what should my next steps be as far as personal development, as far as my own personal discipline goes. And that kind of led into the interactions with my family as they were waking up and coming into the living room. And the plan was to eat breakfast and get ready to go to the gym and go to the gym. Well, my son, always wants to fight about food. He always wants to fight about pretty much everything. He thinks he needs to get his way all the time. Obviously, he's almost 4. He's really close to being 4 years old. He's just now getting to the point where he can understand some reasoning. He can actually, understand the difference between some rights and wrongs on a minor kid level, and some of his behavior is unacceptable. He threatens both of his parents. He'll say, I'm gonna put you in a timeout or whatever when we give him a timeout. Like, he's always combative, and I love that about him. I see myself in him in that way. But the methods in which I was trained up as a kid are unacceptable these days. I cherish the way I was brought up. It was completely unconventional, and statistically speaking, that way probably does not produce the best results overall, but it worked for me, okay? But part of transcending my cycle and being the best father and husband that I can be is that I have to figure out new, more civilized, more modern ways of traversing these difficult areas. And so I tried to feed him something healthy for breakfast this morning. He wasn't having it. He originally agreed and then, refused it once I made it for him. And he got combative and was like, saying threatening statements and just trying to, dig his heels in like he always does and fight. And I decided in that moment, I had something go off, I guess. I admit, I got angry. It's been, that particular soft spot or that particular, irritability, whatever you want to call it, of me gets it gets hammered. There's a lot of, triggering type, antagonistic type stuff that I deal with in my life on a daily basis. People don't even realize how fucking irritable they, or how aggravating they are. And I know that dealing with that is my responsibility. Especially as a combat veteran or whatever, most of those things that bother me about people, I have to give them that grace. I have to know that that's just the way that it is, and that's just where we are as a species, and I've got my own issues that I'm sure other people don't like about the way I interact. So thank you for dealing with that, and I'll deal with yours, and it'll be great. That's what America's all about. It's having different personality types getting along. So whatever. But when it comes to my child and my family, part of this process of Sober October, being completely clear-minded, is absolutely how I need to be interacting with my environment so that sobriety is not difficult, so that I don't have to just suck it up and maybe go smoke a little bit of weed or something to kind of put it in the past. But maybe instead what I need to be doing is confronting these things and just moving that needle enough to where that we can cohabitate honestly and in a situation where we're all thriving. And it's not hard because I don't ask for much. I really don't ask for much. So getting back to my son, he pushed way over the line. A couple different moments where he was just totally just out there, and I pushed him down on the couch. I grabbed him up. I said, "Timeout. You're in timeout." Grabbed him up, picked him up, carried him over to timeout, put him down. No friction, no hurting him or nothing. There was absolutely no pain felt by him. It was just startling, which is what I wanted. Just to kind of shake him up a little bit and get him realizing that he doesn't control the universe the way he thinks he does. He needs to be respectful. And that is something that I do not plan on doing. Like, I'm not gonna, that's not gonna be my go-to, but considering how big of a step I'm getting ready to take with all this, I am absolutely 100% comfortable with that memory. I hope that there's a memory created by that interaction. I hope that, that this is something that can stick, because that moment is the beginning of this new phase, this new transition. Because guess what? They went ahead and went to the gym. I said, I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to finish this project, and this is what I'm gifting myself. This is my moment. This is, if it's my birthday, I get to do today what I want to do. So everything's going to have a place. My house has been in disorder since the beginning, and I say that, it's been orderly. It's been clean. It's been, you got, a lot of people that are going to see this, you've been over to my house. So, but not everything has a place. It's order and chaos all in one. So right now, there's a couple thousand items here. Just to put it in context. So yeah, that's what it's going to be about today. I'm going to label these boxes. I'm going to put everything in its place. And from now on, when my son wants to play with something, or we get something out or whatever, it's going to go back in its place. And he's going to remember. He's going to know, okay, where did this come from? Here's where it goes back. And we're going to start. Today is the day. We're going to start this. I feel really good about it. And this is the next step in not only my own personal discipline, but me fine-tuning our family. My wife's going back to work next week. And the timing, I think, of this really couldn't be any better. I've been taking a lot of small, gradual steps. Little organization here, little, putting some better organizational little hooks in the backsplash on the kitchen, and putting more racks in the garage, and little stuff. But this is a little bit of a bigger step. There, not very many steps have been taken that were this transformative all at once. So. I don't know. This has to be the way that it goes. There's no other better path forward I see. That's one problem, because I've been thinking about being a leader. I've been thinking about what it is to be a leader. We got a chaotic political situation going on, and we got all these people that think they know what is the best way to go. But the problem with being a leader is that you have to be the one that actually makes the difficult decisions. And difficult decisions can always be seen as right or wrong. There's a little bit of both in there. There's almost never that you can make a tough call or decide on a big step to take in any way, shape, or form where it turns out completely positively, where it all works out smooth, where every single person participating or that is affected by that decision is happy about it. You're not going to get that as a leader. That's not even what you should be hoping for. Any leader that thinks that they can only make decisions that positively affect even the majority of their followers all the time, that's not a good leader. That's not possible. It's not possible. You're just going to kick the can down the road too much, and you're going to give in to the wrong voices, and it's going to end up bad. So I have been avoiding taking certain responsibilities. I've been kind of just avoiding difficult conversations and I've been just kind of giving a whole lot of grace, which is important, but I'm redefining how I have those interactions, and it feels good. This feels correct. And so I'm going to get started. This video will very likely be edited. At least just to show the aftermath of how it all turned out. But otherwise, I might just turn this into a longer episode. I've already got, this is about 11 minutes, so. 3, 2, 1, and insert high-speed montage here. I'm just kind of wrapping through the rest of this video that I took, kind of showing the beginning and the middle and the end of my little reorganization project. And it was good. It was good. I spent the time before my family got back home just kind of rebalancing myself and figuring out exactly what steps to take in what order. I know I'm not just gonna immediately start forcing Leon to eat chicken and vegetables. That's not what this was all about, you know, but it's just about setting some boundaries and trying to work with his, you know, growing ability to understand what's going on around him. So I definitely feel really good about it. That was, the first part of the video was taken somewhere right around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, and right now it's about 11 o'clock at night. So it's been a really full day. It's been a good birthday. I got a lot of good birthday wishes. I got to do some little tiny bit of landscaping to clean up the rest of the wood chips and stuff after planting a new tree. Is a ginkgo tree in our front yard now. Pretty cool. I got to decorate, doing some Halloween decorations. We got a big spider web and a big pumpkin reaper, and I'm going to continue detailing that over the course of the next week to get ready for the big night. Our neighborhood has a huge trick-or-treat extravaganza that we enjoy, so that's really cool. This neighborhood's great. Oh man, I cooked some really good food and did some stretching and stuff. I feel very recovered right now. It's not very often that I take another rest day at this point in the week, so hopefully that means I'll have a fantastic workout, or at least maybe I'll try to spread it out across the whole week and just get a really good consistent effort. The mood stuff, I mean, I definitely had like an angry moment this morning. Whenever I do feel, you know, kind of out of balance or angry or frustrated or whatever, one thing that pops in my head always is, how does this compare to the average? And this is somewhat of an excuse and somewhat of a thought experiment, but it's like, how often is someone just going to naturally have an issue with the situation that's going on around them? You know, how often does someone have to show their teeth? You know, how is that normal? Should I be worried? It's like, it's just like, did I expect this? There was one other day where I kind of was feeling a little bit frustrated, and it's like, what justifies it? Should someone just stay even keeled their whole life and never, never push against the boundaries of what's going on around them, or express how much something bothers them? I don't know. It's always something you can work on. Those moments are never delivered perfectly, but it definitely, I don't know, I guess at least in my situation right now, I feel like it's somewhere close to unavoidable. I don't know, but it's not going to affect tomorrow. It didn't really affect my day to day. I actually like how my birthday went down, because except for the calls and the texts and the social media shout outs and whatnot, the actual actions of my day were completely normal. I didn't do any sort of celebration or whatever. And, as a 34-year-old man, I just don't find it necessary to take time out on this specific day to celebrate what? Celebrate me aging or myself, or I don't know. I don't know. I got a lot of positive stuff going on all the time. I don't need to necessarily have a special day, so it was good. It was good overall. I got a lot done, a lot of productive stuff done. If anything, the best part of it really is kind of having used today as like a refresher, or like a reset, a restart on just some changes for just our day-to-day situation. My wife, like I said earlier, my wife's getting ready to go back to work, and that was already gonna kind of shake things up. She's been around for 6 weeks, and so this is just like trying to really maximize the effect of our coming routine. Once she goes back to work, the routine that we land inside of, we're going to be living, basically the same week, the same month, the same year for several years to come. And the only changes are going to be really just the kids growing up, the kids getting older and getting into more events and stuff. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think that time can be used very efficiently. And I think that the steps that I took today and the coming, kind of trajectory of how that's going to play out is it's positive. It's really good. And so, okay, so some other, what did I say? I'm definitely changing the way I interact on social media. It's not that there's anything wrong. It's that I'm ready for the next thing. I've gotten everything I can get out of my interactions on social media, and I appreciate everyone's time and effort to have those conversations with me. But now there's something new going to be going on. I deleted Fortnite and just a couple other apps, lower productivity apps on my phone. I wasn't even thinking of doing that, but the honest thing that got me to delete Fortnite was that when I started this content project, I told myself that I needed to kind of start finding some time, or changing up the way that I was spending some of my free time. And so I thought to myself, well, if I play a video game, maybe I'll just record it, and then I can narrate over that and put that on a playlist and just have it as part of my content creation. Well, then season 11 of Fortnite comes out, and it's called Chapter 2, and they've upgraded everything. The whole game is better, the graphics are better, it's smoother, it looks great, you can swim, you got boats, you can fish, there's just all kinds of new stuff. It's really, really, really cool. And the hardware requirements, I think, have gone up. It's like my phone just barely plays it now, and trying to also record on top of that just made it choppy and not work. So it was like a two-step process. It was like, oh, if you're going to play, then you need to record it so that you can turn it into content. And then it was like, oh, well, now this update happened and there's no way for you to turn it into content right now. And so I was like, coincidence? Definitely coincidence. But, at this point in my life, it's like, I've just got to find every tiny little, I've just got to leave no stone unturned in the quest to be more disciplined and to use my time efficiently. And that's an easy takedown with the video games. So coming into my marriage, I knew that I had to get rid of video games, and I haven't had a gaming PC this whole time. There's never been a console attached to any TV. Well, there's only one TV in the house, the TV above fireplace is the only active TV, and it's never had a console or any kind of disc player at all plugged into it. We've got internet, Netflix, Hulu, and HBO, and we don't. There's no way to even watch all that, not even close. So, yeah, I'd say that's about it, really. I'm still looking forward to doing 20.2. It looks like I'm going to do it on Tuesday again. Um, I don't know how much I'm going to talk about some of this HOA neighborhood stuff on here. It's kind of an interesting and funny story, but it's totally not like relevant to Sober October. But I've got a meeting tomorrow with those guys that it's gonna that meeting is gonna unlock me being able to talk about a bunch of stuff that's going on behind the scenes right now, and that's like its own little weird mini reality TV show playing out inside of our neighborhood right now. At least for those that are following the HOA, the Homeowners Association Board. So that's how eventful my life is right now. Is that the little local HOA thing is like one of the biggest things on my radar. That's a good thing though. That's not a complaint whatsoever. I had a few people from my past text me today and they're like, "Oh, what you up to? What you getting into?" And I was like, "Nothing, nothing." And I really appreciate those guys. I really cherish the relationships that I built in my past. I just, it's incredibly difficult to keep those relationships current because we just don't do any of the same stuff, and there's only 24 hours in a day, and they're booked, man. Everybody's booked, not just me, but them. They're busy too. It's great, so nothing wrong with that. I'm sure everybody can relate to that. Otherwise, I spoke on fitness, diet. The food today was really good. I guess I was pretty calorie high today for not having done a ton of physical activity, but it's going to work itself out across the week. I'm totally ready for this. I'm not ready for the competition yet, but this week is definitely going to solidify that and kind of get me there. And I'm feeling good about it. It's going to be a good experience. That is on November 3rd, so I guess it technically won't be attached to this project, but I really like the idea of doing some sort of, video based on that tournament. So we'll see how that turns out. Maybe that'll be my first little thing that I do after this, I don't know, but that's gonna be cool. Mood, you kind of saw me in my moment today. Honestly, that video I took earlier today, I already watched it. I just watched it before this, and what you see there is about the most like angry or frustrated or like high volume or intensity or whatever that I've been this month, and compared to any of my past peaks and valleys or whatever, there's no there's no danger. There's no out of control for me anymore. I used to love kind of dabbling with that boundary between being in control and being out of control, and I think that's what a lot of drinkers. I think that's what drinking is to a lot of people, is that external force that allows them to go ahead and accidentally stumble across that line of being in or out of control. It's that extra excuse. It was like, well, I was drunk, and I get that. And there is some sort of weird release, or like, stress relief mechanism to be found in that. But there's a whole nother, set of enlightened mindsets out there once you're on a different track too. I'm not missing anything, and there's nothing that I left behind that of any value compared to what's in front of me. So that's good. Sleep, I'm getting ready to just go crash right now after I get this video uploaded. I guess I'm gonna have to edit this all together still and then upload it. So I guess it'll be about 30 minutes altogether. But yay, this is my birthday episode. um, Birthdays really don't mean anything to me. I remember actually my first, like, I want to say 5 adult birthdays. I was in doing service in the military, either in basic training or doing some other kind of training or in Iraq. So that really kind of, set that pattern up for me. I've never, it started off like that, and so I always try to downplay it, and the gift that I got is not here, but it's that GoPro, that new GoPro that's coming in the mail. It's not even going to ship until the 24th. They ship on the 24th, so that's really cool. That's a really incredibly sweet gift, and I don't know. I'm gonna, one thing here, I'll just put this on the video too, so that for some reason, when I put the things on the video, I feel more like required to follow through. So I'm gonna spend the rest of this whole week, these last couple of days my wife's home, just making sure that I cherish my time with her and show her how much I love her, and I don't know, do some lovey-dovey like flowers and stuff, and just kind of lay it on thick the last couple of days, just to kind of send her back to work in a really positive zone or something. I'm not sure, but I don't feel required or forced or like that's necessary to do. I genuinely want to do that. Like, I absolutely love my wife and my family, and it just, when it pops in my head, it's like, yay, I get to do that. Yay, that's, yeah, it is necessary, but it's not necessary like I'm being forced. It's just necessary, like, for me to properly show my true emotion. That's part of it. So that's another thing I need to work on, is how to more effectively express my true emotions. I think that's everybody. Is that everybody? Maybe not, maybe so, I'm not sure, but right on. Alright, I'm gonna get to cutting this thing together, and I guess I'll just see you guys tomorrow. Good night.